So friends, I have waited for a full year to record this video, and the reason is simple. I wanted to make sure that everything I say here makes complete sense and is backed by solid data. Now, why did I bother to shoot this video in the first place? Well, it started with a conversation I had with a friend. He was buying a Tesla at that time and told me his reason being expensive fuel. I asked him, really, is it really the expensive fuel or is it just your love for Tesla? I even tried giving my friend some quick calculations to show him the numbers, but then I stopped myself. I thought, why not to wait until I have all the data with me to really present my case? And honestly, it's tough to explain anything to someone who's already made up their mind. Plus, let's be real, everyone's circumstances are different. For him, his commute is 2000 kilometers per month. For me, it's just 1000 kilometers. That's why it's important to keep things personalized, and one has to be sure and have all the relevant data to make an informed decision. What works for someone might not work for you. So, let me talk about my case here. Does it make sense for me to upgrade the car or not? Stick with me and I'll break it down for you. Let's figure it out together because the best decisions are the ones tailored to your own life. Let me show one of the chart I have just prepared for myself because I've been, as I said, I've been waiting for this video for 1 year just because this data was not available with me. Now that this data is available with me, I'll just give you an example of how you can calculate yourself if the car is worth upgrading or not, just from the pure economic point of view. This is the chart. I have been spending whatever amount over the last 1 year on my car, explained in one pie chart. You can see the maximum amount has been spent on maintenance. My car is 10 years old and I've been driving almost or slightly more than 1000 kilometers a month for the last 12 months. So in 12 months, for 1 year, it's been 12,000 kilometers done already. I know from Dubai's perspective, the kilometers run is less because usually it's around 1500 to 2000 kilometers a month, which is being driven. But thanks to COVID, now things have changed and companies are more flexible in asking people to come over to the office rather than just they can keep on working from home. Now, you can see the maintenance part is around 5,540 dirhams, and this maintenance includes the major maintenance which I had done for my car, and I always do the maintenance from the agency. Because of that, the maintenance is slightly expensive, but at the same time, I have peace of mind because I know that everything has been taken care of. The maintenance is 5,540 dirhams. This maintenance will cover for next 2 years. So I did this maintenance in April or May or March. I don't exactly remember because I'll show you in the next chart, which shows you when was the expenses done. But anyways, this maintenance, whatever I've spent on, would be enough for next 2 years because I've done all the major maintenance here. So next 2 years, I won't be doing any major maintenance, only just the oil change, which might cost me 300, 400 dirhams at max for the next 1 year. So maintenance was 5,540 dirhams. The fuel itself was 5,130 dirhams. Annual expenses are around 2,077 dirhams. This includes the insurance, the RTA registration fee, and also the testing of the car. So this includes everything here in terms of annual maintenance. I've done the annual, so not the annual maintenance, and annual expenses. This annual expense I've done in December 2023. Again, I'll show you this in the next chart. Then comes fines. Of course, while you're living in Dubai, you need to know what kind of fines you can incur. So it's very important to keep them in a budget, not in a budget at least, but I know what kind of fines I have paid in last 1 year. They have been incorporated in this chart as well. Then comes Salig, which and also parking fee. Now I have less commute, so I'm a bit privileged because I don't have to go to the office on daily basis. So and my office provides me parking as well, so it's not a big issue for me in terms of parking. So that's why my parking fee is less. But I know a few people who need to shell out almost 5,000 dirhams per month just for the 5,000 dirhams per year just for the parking, and that too the public parking, not their own building. The building might give them the parking separately. So like car wash and repairs, everything has been included. So anything related to car has been depicted in this pie chart, which I have been spending on. You will see another chart, which is this chart of expenses per month, and you can see annual expenses were there in December 2023 when my insurance got renewed, and then also petrol expenses were throughout all the months. And then the maintenance part, as I said, it was in April 2024, which was when I spent a lot of amount on the annual maintenance. Not only annual, I think it's maintenance for the next 2 years, because my running is not that much, and the next maintenance cycle will only have the fuel change. Then of course the parking fees there, because I pay through RTA wallet, so I have to pay, let's say, a month, in a month, and then it can run for next 3 or 4 months. Repair, it's minor repair, it's just I think wiper and these things, so it's not big amount. Salik is also not a big amount, because although I use Salik a lot, but again, compared to a lot of other people's, it's not that much. So this is a breakdown of how my expense look like over the last few months, or I would say last 1 year. So you can understand that before going for some kind of decision, you need to have some kind of data. So if my friend had this kind of data available, he can easily make his decision while he was buying a 200,000 dirhams car, just because of fuel expenses. So here you can see fuel expenses are not that much, and I'll just show you and explain to you. Let's say if I want to upgrade my car either to an EV or to, let's say, a petrol car, as I have already, how much do I have to pay out extra, and does it worth it or not? Let's go into that. So now let's put things into perspective. For someone like me, if I were to buy a new car of a similar category, not even considering EVs for now, the total cost of ownership would look like something like this. For a 200,000 petrol car, a monthly maintenance cost of ownership would be 3,500 dirhams, which would include the interest as well as the principal cost, because I won't be paying off upfront for the 200,000 dirhams all together. Annual expenses for the insurance would be 4,000 dirhams, and this is averaged out for the next 5 years. Like every year I would have to pay, let's say, between somewhere between 6,000 to slightly less than 4,000, let's say. So I've averaged out for the 5 years, because the car I'm buying will be financed for 5 years. So that's why making it look here as 4,000 dirhams for the annual expenses for the insurance, because first year it will be slightly high, for the next years it would be slightly low. So average it out, so it would be for 4,000 dirhams for the 200,000 dirhams car. Combined monthly burden would be around 3,800 dirhams if I include the insurance on monthly basis, and also the cost of ownership, which is interest, as well as the principal payment. Now, I have opted for 200,000 dirhams budget, because upgrading my existing car only makes sense if I have this budget in my mind, else the current car is perfectly fine. So I don't have to worry about the upgrade if I really don't have to go for higher capacity car or higher model car, because the existing car is already working fine for me, and I'm only going to upgrade just because of the looks of the car and the performance of the car. Otherwise, I don't mind keeping my own car. So that's why I'm keeping the 200,000 budget. Otherwise, I could have gone less, but to create an apple to apple comparison, it should be similar kind of category, or upgrade from my existing. So my total expenses, without even factoring in things like salik, parking charges, petrol maintenance, RTF fees, etc., came out to be staggering 45,600 dirhams per year if I were to get a new car. Now, when I add these extras like maintenance, the figure shot up to be around 56,000 dirhams per year. So maintenance is, of course, not a big should be not a big number once you talk about a new car. But of course, there would be tires which needs to be replaced. There might be some service things which needs to be done. So I'm just keeping 800 dirhams per month for the maintenance of the new car, although it can be slightly less, but more or less it's going to be somewhere around this mark. So the total cost of ownership or total expenses that I'm going to be hitting with this is around 56,000 dirhams per year. But here's where the things get interesting. Compare that to my current expense of almost 16,000 dirhams per year. The difference per month becomes 3,300 dirhams if I compare 56,000 dirhams compared to 16,000 dirhams per year currently. The difference is coming to be around 3,300 dirhams per month. Now, let me ask you this. Do you know what you could do with an extra 3,300 dirhams every single month? For me, if I decide to resign from my current job today, the amount would alone be enough to cover my family's health insurance for the next several years to come. I mean, this is a huge thing for me. Can you imagine the freedom that it brings? Knowing that my family's well being is secured no matter what, even if I opt out to start my own venture. This is more than just savings, it's positive cash flow every month, it's peace of mind. And for me, it's a feeling of liberation that no paycheck can buy. Now, you can do the same for any car and would depend on the existing car with the last 1 year's expense in hand with you, plus the likely forecast for next year. So, what I need you to do now, if you don't have the expenses like I've shown you in the chart format right now, you can at least give it a go and try to get some kind of let's say approximation from whatever expenses you're doing right now, and you will come to know your expenses for the next 1 or 2 years for your car, for your existing car. And then you can think about upgrading your car depending on what circumstances you are in. Maybe you are driving a lot, maybe you are driving a lot less than me as well. So there are a lot of factors that can involve. Maybe you're passing through Salik a lot. By the way, I like recently we've seen that Salik's charges have increased if you are going to pass through Salik, if you want to let's say go through peak hours, off peak hours, at night. So there are different variable charges for Salik as well as parking as well. So you need to see your own scenario and then figure it out what kind of expense you need to do on your next car. So here's my challenge to you: take a hard look at the expenses. Ask yourself what's truly essential for you, what can you optimize or let go of to create more breathing room for your finances. Because when you have control over your money, you're not just saving, but you're buying freedom. Apart from all this, there is a famous rule of 24-10, which is basically a thumb rule for buying a car. So basically, what happens is 20% is your down payment. So minimum down payment you need to do while buying a car, buying a new car, let's say, is at least 20% of the value of the car. So if it's a 200,000 dirhams car, you must pay 40,000 dirhams as down payment. Then the 4 years of financing is the maximum term that you can go for. I just calculated that did that with 5,000 dirhams. I mean 5 years, but here the rule of thumb is that you have to do it for 4 years financing at max. Then the car payment should not go beyond 10% of your net income. So if let's say the car payment is coming to be around 2,000 dirhams, your salary should be around 20,000 dirhams. So 20,000 dirhams, 10% becomes 2,000 dirhams. Although I would always suggest to calculate the full cost of ownership of car, including the maintenance, including the, let's say, your insurance, including the parking, everything included should be 10%. But to give some leverage, I would say, okay, 10% of the of the payment that you're paying to the banks should be at least of your income, not beyond that. I've seen people buying cars for, let's say, installment of 3,000 dirhams, 4,000 dirhams, while having the salaries of 15,000 dirhams or 20,000 dirhams at max, which does not make sense. For a 2,000 dirhams payment, you would definitely be needing 5 to 6,000 dirhams per month additional on top of that to maintain the car in terms of the fuel, the salik, the parking, and even more, maybe 1,000 dirhams. So if you're paying 2,000 dirhams for a car payment, you might be paying extra 1,000 dirhams for the parking and associated expenses. I would like everyone to calculate their self, whatever their expenses are, because these rules are made for some reason. It's not like they are just made out of thin air. There are rationales behind it, and in this video, I don't want to go into details of those rationales, but these are very important points that you need to understand. I make videos about personal finance. I make videos about stocks investing. I make videos about productivity, properties in Dubai. A lot of such kind of topics which falls into personal finance. I recently made video about Sarva, a very good platform here in the UAE to invest in the US stocks, either through stocks directly or the ETFs. Or even if you don't understand the stocks, how to invest in the stocks, you can opt for robo investor platform of Sarva, which is Sarva Invest. Here is the link to the video. You can go and check it out. Also, I do regular podcasts with different people. I recently did a podcast with Andrew Hallam about his book. There are multiple books he's written. The ones I talked about was the Millionaire Expert and the Balance. Here's the link to the video. If you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.